Welcome back, everybody. It is me, your boy Rico No Suave, and welcome back. Welcome back. OMG. I hope you guys are ready to go. I hope you guys are super ready because I am back, and I know that, hey, when I'm back, you're back. Yes, let's go. Hey, everybody, we got a fun filled packed show for you guys every week, but today is something special, everybody. It's always something special. We want to thank you guys. I have to take the time to say thank you guys so much for your support. The Rico No Suave show is best taking off to another level, everyone. And when I say we're taking off to another level, we're going to have a lot of great live events that's actually coming up. And we're also going to be in more streaming services for you guys to be able to get involved with, as well as more sponsorships. As well. So we are going to be taking off really, really, really great for the rest of this year. But we want to thank you. We want to thank you so much for all of your love, all your love. Everybody, this right now, I have to tell you right now, this is a month of awareness. And when we talk about a month of awareness, everyone, this is autism. Yes, this is Autism Month. Let's go. Autism Month. Let's get it on. I have to say that I do have friends that also are parents that actually have kids that has autism. And one of the things is that when we talk about autism, it's all about having a disability, but also having an ability. There's so many great things that's actually happening as far as with autism that it's such a great thing. And Hopefully, you guys are actually out there with different organizations and also parents that actually have kids and also adults, of course, that actually have autism as well. And it's such a blessing. All right, everybody, let's get it on. We have something that we're going to start off with, and this is something that we normally don't do at the very beginning, but what I have to tell you, we're going to play a song, everybody. We got a song that we're going to actually play, and this is just a way to introduce our beautiful guest. Everybody, I want you guys, I'm going to just let the song go ahead and play, and then we're coming back to be able to introduce. All right, here we go. Let's go. Adventure girl, explore your world, live it fast and make it last, live it bright and make it light. Adventure girl, explore your world, fast talking, not afraid of walking or ashamed of asking questions, living life relentlessly and open to the power of suggestion. Record-breaking motivation, concentration, education, passion. Rapid fire rhyming, and you know that everything is in the timing. Adventure girl, explore your world. Look alive, get outside. Learn to climb, learn to dive. Adventure girl, explore your world. Inspiration, perspiration, Guinness Book of Records domination. Collaboration, exploration, burning hope for future generations. Fast talking, not afraid of walking or ashamed of asking questions. Living life relentlessly and open to the power of suggestion. Adventure girl, explore your world. Relentless love to climb above. Relentless thirst to be the first. Adventure girl, explore your world. Persistence, 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 persistence. Adventure girl, explore your world. Live it fast and make it last. Live it bright and make it light. Adventure girl, explore your world. Adventure girl, explore your world. Adventure girl, explore your world. Adventure girl. Everybody, I want you guys to put your hands together for none other. If you heard the adventure girl, her name is Fran Capo. Let's go. Welcome. Let's go.
Hey, how are you?
How
I
are
was
you, love? How
tempted
you
to like be
doing?
hanging from the chandelier or something.
I am super happy to actually have you here with us today. I am super, super, super happy. Thank you so much for actually taking the time to actually be here on the show as far as with us on the Rico Suave show. And we're about to have a great time. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, of course. And listen, my good friend B, she's like, you gotta do his show. And now I'm here.
Yeah, we got a few things as far as we got I guess the volume in regards to I guess you're louder than me. That's what everyone else is actually saying. We're gonna see if we can actually make a little bit of an adjustment. We'll see if
An
we can actually
Italian that's louder than you. What a
yeah.
surprise.
Yeah, hopefully this helps everybody. Hopefully this helps. I hope
Well,
it's
you're
a
getting
little bit
louder. Do you
better.
want me to go lower? I could go lower. You want me to go?
Nah,
Is
nah,
that better?
you're good. You stay
Okay.
where you at. You stay where you at.
Okay.
It's gonna be awesome. And they're already starting as far as in the chat right now, everybody. But thank you guys so much for actually being here as far as with us on the Rico Suave show. We have none other than the comedian. She is an author and also the world. She's 10-time world record holder. But I'm telling you, she is the fastest speaking woman that I
Fastest
ever
talking woman.
know.
603.32 words a minute, 11 words a second is what I was clocked at. But don't worry, if I do the interview at that speed, we would be done.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's get this party started, man, because, there's plenty of questions. I know, no pun intended. I know this is going to go fast, but hey, let's get it on. How did you develop? Let's talk about the, speaking fast, right? How did you develop yourself into fast talking?
So what happened was I was working at a radio station, WBLS-FM in New York City,
Uh-huh.
and I was writing comedy for them and kidding around one day. I said, you know what? I could do this really cool impression. I call the character June East, Mae West's long lost sister. So all of a sudden, the DJ flings the weather and traffic copy at me. And in the 30 seconds, I see the red tally light come on. And in radio, you can't have dead air. So I start going, oh, today the weather and traffic is. And in the 30 seconds I happened to do it, a lady from the Daily News called. And she said, I'm doing a story on weather and traffic, people. How long you been doing it? So I'm not going to tell her 30 seconds. So I said, yeah, I've been doing it a while. So she said, well, what are you planning on doing next? But I didn't have a next, but I had a lady from the Daily News. So I
Uh-huh.
said, oh, I'm thinking of breaking a world record. And she's like, for what? But I didn't have a for what. So I said, I can't tell you because it'll jinx it. She goes, listen, the article goes in at 6:00 today. If you decide you want to let me know, give me a call. So I run out and buy a Guinness book and I start looking through it really quick, pogo stick and all these things. And I see fast talking. I go, well, people always told me I talked fast.
Uh-huh.
So I figured, all right. So now I had a show that night and I'm thinking, should I, what should I do? What's the record at? So I call her up from a phone booth. Remember those things? Like
Yes.
Superman would come out of
Yeah.
the phone booth. Nobody could recognize him because he didn't have his glasses on. Ridiculous, but whatever. But anyway, so not very bright people. But anyway, so I called her up and I said, listen, I think I'll tell you, I'm thinking of breaking the world record for fast talking. She said, what's the record at? I'm looking in the book. And I said, oh, the record is 552 words a minute. So she says, what are you at? I said, 550. Those last two words are a killer.
Yeah.
So she prints it in the paper. And the next day, the Larry King Live people call me up and ask me to go on the show and break the record. Now, I got to tell you, I did not know who Larry King was. All I heard
Wow.
was cable. And I said, is this some kind of porn? And they're like, honey, no, this is a national show. I said, what if I don't break the record? They said, Larry doesn't care whether you break the record or not. He just cares that you try it on his show first. So I said, okay. So I called up again. I said, what do you have to do? They said something from Shakespeare or the Bible. Me and Shakespeare never got along, but I had a prayer from the Bible that my mom taught me, the 91st Psalm. So they told me they were going to have a limo at my house in 5 hours. I had 5 hours to practice, and I'm over there. Here dwells secret place of the Most High, shall abide in the shadow of my, like smoke's coming out of my head. Anyway, I go on the show. I break the record doing 585 words a minute, and then I re-break it at the Guinness Museum in Vegas doing 603.32 words a minute, which is 11 words a second. And that's how I got into the Guinness book.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So to be able to develop that, because there is tongue twisters, there's things where there's words that you have to be able to pronounce and hit the syllables. How often did you practice with being able to have like a paragraph, right? I don't know how it works, but
No,
how does it
see,
work when it's come to speaking as far as
okay, well, first of
long
all,
words?
the record is determined on things. It's determined on how clear you are. It's
Right.
determined on, and obviously speed also. But the thing was, remember, I only had that short time to practice, so I just kept repeating the prayer that I knew, and it was, he that dwells secret places of the Most High shall abide in the shadow of the Mighty. Like I had known the words, and I just knew that I had to enunciate. Because with the Guinness record, what they do is they have a machine back then. They had a machine called the lexicon compressor that would take your words, slow it down, but not distort it like a tape recorder. Then
Uh-huh.
they had an Olympic timer time you to the hundredth of a second. And then they
Wow.
had a speech analyst analyze every single syllable. And if even one syllable was wrong, the entire record was null and void. So it's not like you could just go blah, 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 and just say things, because a lot of
Right.
people think they talk fast, but they slur words or they murmur, and you can't. Now, when I rebroke the record, the second time doing the 603.32 words a minute, they gave me a British text, and it had words in it like, I went to the Bostilian to ask him for a groat. I go, okay, What does that mean in English? I have no idea what I'm even saying.
Right.
And then I happened at one point, I did a record where the words was 682 words a minute.
Wow.
And because I said the word, listen, I'm from New York. I
Yep.
say water. I don't say water.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so I said, and bring me a glass of water. And they said, no such word as water. Wadder. I go, yeah, water. We drink it all the time. That's what you
Right.
need. And they go, Fran, it's water. I go, I don't have water. I only said water. And so they discounted that record because it's, Guinness started in Britain. So it's a British, it was a British outfit.
Wow, man. Come on. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Hold on. As I drink some water, I had to do that. Okay.
Oh, I love that, man. I love that. And to be able to know that you've actually, you won, that to hit that record, right? What
Yeah.
was it like as far as when you knew that you hit that record? Because we kind of talked behind the scenes as well too about the Matchbox car, gentlemen.
John Machida, whose record I
Yes,
broke.
Don
Yeah.
Machedo, right? And
Yeah.
it's amazing because me growing up as a kid,
Yeah.
that's all I knew, was Matchbox cars, right? And to be able to hear that you mastered that and you beat that, what did it feel like when you actually won? What was that?
Well,
What was that inner
it's
feeling for
it's
you?
funny because here's the thing. Like I wasn't doing it. I in all the world records I do, I
Yeah,
never do it to beat someone else.
sure.
I do it as an accomplishment for myself.
Yes.
So, like people, when they define success, what is success? Beating someone else? No, it's just making myself better. Like just get. So, to be honest, when he said it on the Larry King show, Fran Capo, you have broken the world record. I was like, ah! And I there's video of me breaking it on the Larry King live show, and you see me just like getting all excited because I didn't know if I would or I wouldn't. Like I said, I had 5 hours at that time to practice. Now, when I redid it again, and they flew me out to Vegas, and I'm at the museum, I'm in front of the Guinness Museum. There's other world record holders, the guys there. It was a different type of feeling. But either way, it always feels good because up until the point that you're doing it, like you hope you do it, but sometimes under pressure you could get nervous. Like at home you could do it fantastic, and then all of a sudden people are there, and then you don't, you mess up or whatever. So there's always that anticipation, like, okay, when I need to do it, am I going to come through? And luckily I did.
Nice. Nice.
I will say this. I did this I had this commercial. And again, if you Google Frank Capo, YouTube videos and stuff like that, these come
Yep.
up. I have a compilation reel, it comes up and stuff. But anyway, what happened was I did this Nissan commercial. That was my first commercial that I got asked to do was a Bank of America commercial. It was a voiceover, but this was a Nissan commercial. I was already 4 months pregnant when I was doing this commercial. So they had a robe on me, and they were auditioning the guy that was going to play my husband. And so John Machida's dad came in, and he
Uh-huh.
goes, "Hi, I'm John Machida Sr. or whatever." And they go, "My son is the world's fastest talker." And the producer went, "Not anymore." And I went, "Oh boy, this is going to be a little awkward." Really nice guy. I mean, he had no clue. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
that whole
right.
thing had just happened, whatever. But it just became like a little awkward. And then, I met John Machida, but he does his thing. I do mine. I had suggested us doing a commercial together, not a
Yeah.
commercial. I had suggested us doing Saturday Night Live together, where he's in the ring and I'm in the ring, and we come out like a husband and wife, and we're going to box. And instead, we just start going back and forth with our words together. But he was like, "Nah,
Uh,
I don't want to do that." I'm like, "All right, whatever." So,
that would have been, that would have been a super awesome segment
right.
of
It would have
that.
been
That would have
great.
been
Let's find that
hands
live.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But whatever. Some people like to work alone.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, forget about it. That's what we say. We say forget
Forget
about it and
about
keep
it.
moving,
Yeah.
right? I love it. I love it to the fact of how you as and it's cool because you had that accent, took that New York accent in general, and it's just so cool to be able to know how you just mastered the speaking and going fast, and it's such a great entertainment because which goes to my next piece of you
Yeah.
being a comedian. your energy is definitely there. Like
Oh,
to
thank
be
you.
able to make people laugh and just make them smile in general. When it comes to one of my favorites is Rodney Dangerfield, right? That's
Yes.
one of my favorite as
Okay.
far as comedians. You're in that industry as well too. Where did the comedy come into play as an influence for you to be on that stage?
Well, you see, okay, so a couple of things. My One of my favorite comics was George Carlin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And when I was in college, the way that I started doing stand up was when I was in college, I was an accounting and a philosophy major, which when you think about it, left brain, right brain. So it's like 1 + 1 is 2.
Yep.
Why? They go together. So, um, but when I started listening to George Carlin, and then I would listen to Richard Pryor and Joan Rivers, I would listen to the albums. Remember, they had albums out then, and although I'm 37 till I'm 97 and sticking to it, that's all I'll say. But anyway, so I would listen to these and I was like, wow, that would be, would be kind of cool. And so then I said, okay, God, if I should be a stand-up comic, because I would always make my friends laugh and my mom and my aunts laugh, and I said, then give me a sign. Okay. So the first thing that happens is I'm at an auto show and they had this thing, autograph, and they'll analyze your handwriting. And it says, you have a good sense of humor. Use it to make money. And I went, that's just a handwriting machine. And I know
uh,
God's going, hey, what kind of sign do I need to give you? So then the second thing that happened was I was online at Great Adventures with a couple of my friends, and literally a guy standing behind me taps my shoulder and goes, I don't mean to interrupt your conversation, but I've been to comedy shows and you're funnier than a lot of the comics I see. And I go, that's just some guy online. What is that guy
right.
now?
That is, yeah.
And then, no, because nobody knows that I had said this to God, and had made this
Sure.
thing. Then, what was the third thing? Yeah. So then I was in a class, and I had taken one acting class in my whole life, and it was this one class, and I was supposed to do. I think it was Edward Albee's Zoo Story. Anyway, the point was the scene I was doing was the person was committing suicide, but I didn't realize that, and I delivered it in a funny way, and the teacher was like, I've never quite heard it done that way before. And I was like, well, what? He goes, you do realize the person's like committing suicide? I said, no, totally missed that. And so then this
Wow.
other comic comes up to me. He was a comic in the class. He goes, the way you delivered that was so funny, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, I work at the comic strip. Why don't you come to the comic strip? And I said, and he goes, I'll give you my act. But he had done drugs and I never even smoked pot. I'm like, nah, I appreciate that though. So
Yeah.
now in my head, I'm going, I don't know, God, why aren't you answering me? Meanwhile, God's going, do I need a brick for your head? What's the problem here? So now I alter my prayer and I go, okay, God, I need you to make it so simple for me to know if I need to do this or not. I need like a sign. And oh, by the way, can you make it convenient? Well,
Right. I
hey,
like
if
that.
I'm asking, might as well
Yeah.
ask for what. So, so now I normally go in it. This was at Queens College. I normally go in the front door, and the front door is closed due to construction. So I
Mhm.
have to go around the building and go to the side door. And I go in there, and as I walk in the side door, because I got to get to my class, there's a big sign, a literal sign that says stand up comedy auditions today. And I'm like, and the winner, it was a contest, and the winner will perform at Creighton and Gray's. Queens College was 25 minutes from my house. Creighton and Gray's was 2 blocks from my house. So
Wow.
talk about being convenient. So now I'm like, well, what time's this audition? And I look and it's ending in like 2 minutes. So I'm looking for the room and it's literally in a broom closet. A guy is sitting there with a broom and I knock on the door. I go, is this the auditions? He goes, yeah. I had nothing planned. So I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know what I said. And I said, that's it. That's the end of my audition. I got to go. I got to get to class. I can't be late. And I leave. And he says to me that he had said to me, the winners will be announced. Anyway, I don't hear from the guy. So, but I never went back in that entrance. So like in the middle of the week, like I go and then I look on the wall, it says, Fran Capo, call us. And so I call the guy, he goes, you didn't leave me your phone number, nothing. there was no text messages there where, or anything. He would have to call my home phone, And
Uh-huh.
so he goes, "You won the contest." I said, "What do I have to do?" He goes, "You just got to do 5 minutes." Okay, that was a Monday. Tuesday, "Listen, I need you to do 10 minutes." I go, 10 minutes? Do people usually do 10 minutes? And they go, "Yeah, we need you to do 10 minutes." I go, 10 minutes. So third day, "We need you to do 15 minutes. You need me to do on my first time on stage?" Yeah. By Friday night, he tells me I have to do a half an hour. I have a little teddy bear. I have notes on my bear because I can't remember a whole half hour. I've never been on stage in my life before. I wasn't even the kid that wanted to be in plays in school, maybe
Yeah.
as a bush running around on the stage. You know what I mean? Like I was not that kid. So anyway, so I wind up going and performing at Creighton and Gray's that night with two other professional comics at that time. And I wind up getting a standing ovation. So
No
I'm, oh
way. That's
my God,
awesome.
this is fantastic. And they hand me $10. I'm like, and I get paid. So they asked me to come, yeah,
That's
$10. That
awesome.
was a big deal. So
Yeah.
the next night, they say, "Come back, do the same thing." And what I learned, not only that night, but for all of stand up forevermore, is that you cannot fake sincerity on stage or when you're doing your thing. Yes, you have your
Yeah.
act memorized and
Yeah.
you do this. But the first night, when I was nervous, I would tell the audience, I go, "Listen, I got this bear because I got notes on this bear." But the second night, when I was trying to do that again, remembering that I said to the audience, "Listen, I got notes on the bear," it didn't come out sincere. It came out
Yeah.
like me trying to remember what I was doing. So the second night, right, I bombed. So I was so embarrassed. I ran off the stage, hid in the bathroom, locked the door, and wouldn't let any audience member come in. My mother got so upset she got drunk, fell off a chair. And my boyfriend's going, "You gotta let the people in." I go, "I'm not until the whole room's cleared." Anyway, turns out that there was a reporter in at the comedy house. I mean, not the comedy house, at Creighton and Gray's, and she wrote an article. She was there Friday night when I got a stand ovation, and she wrote an article that said Fran Capo successfully wings her way through her first live performance. I still have that little clip of that article. And then a couple of months later, I went to this place called the Rainy Night House that was run by Rick Messina, who then was a bartender. Later in life, he became Tim Allen's manager. And
Wow.
back then, he said to me, "Hey, I saw you at the not the Rainy Night House, at Creighton Gray's," and I went, "Friday or Saturday?" And he goes, "Friday." I go, "Yeah, I did really. What's up? Would you like to perform?" And then I started performing at the Rainy Night House, and then I kept doing stand up, and now I've been doing it professionally for years, and now world records and everything else.
Let's go. Let's go. Man.
Okay.
Hey, when it comes down to comedy and being able to get on that stage and start growing your presence in the comedy industry, you know, first of all, congratulations. That is an awesome story. But yes, it was all about convenience. That
That's what I
convenience piece,
said.
that was the sign. As soon as it was convenient for you, that was it. Like I'm like, yo, this. It couldn't be get any better. Where there's
Two
a
blocks from my
miracle.
house at a place that had never done stand up. That was the
Yeah,
thing. Rays had never done stand up before. They
yeah.
just started to try it.
And you
So,
never know who's in the audience. That's another thing. You never know who's in
yeah.
the audience watching. And being able to see, like I said, just knowing how the energy is just amazing. I'm sure if you had that energy, the way you have the energy right now, and if you, that same energy that you had back then, insane. I mean, I just know it was just crazy.
Oh, thank you. Now that you just reminded me of a story that I wasn't going to tell, but it just reminds me, you say you never know.
Yeah.
So I have a friend, John Bastow, the fitness celebrity guy. A lot of people know him, blonde guy, whatever. And we would go into Manhattan and we would do these long walks. And John doesn't like to spend a lot of money. I'm not saying anything that he whatever. He knows. Okay. So we're walking on 14th Street and he sees a shirt in the window that he really likes. And
Mm.
he goes in and he said, "How much is this shirt?" I don't remember what the shirt was, $40 or whatever. And so then he goes, "Well, I'm John Bastow, the fitness celebrity. Can I get this shirt for like $20?" And the lady goes, "All right, well, you'll wear the shirt you promote." And he goes, "Well, she's the world's fastest talking woman. If she does fast talking for you, you can get 20." I go, "John, I don't work for $20." And then he's like,
Right.
And so he's like, no, come on, Fran. I go, John, give the woman the $20. No. So the lady goes, no, really, you're the fast talker. Will you do a little video for me? So I'm like, sure. So she locks the door. It was a store that literally, like, my right shoulder and my left shoulder could hold could touch the clothing racks on both sides. It was a long store. It was a tiny little store on 14th Street. So I do this thing. I'm literally standing on 2 steps. She's holding a flashlight on me. I mean, real professional. And so I say, yeah, this is Fran Capo, the world's fastest talker. I'm on 14th Street. I'm in this store, blah, blah. I do this thing. She gives the guy, John, the shirt. I forget about it. I go home. 2 years later, and this is when it goes back to your thing of you never know. Right. 2 years later, I get a call from Sirius XM Radio when they're about to merge. But, because they used to be separate, when they're about to merge. And they go, hey, we saw your clothing commercial. And I went, clothing commercial? I've actually never done a clothing commercial. No, you did. You were in a small store. And I'm in my head, because I had done a bunch of commercials, but never a clothing commercial. And then I realized it was that little thing. They said, because of that, we would like to hire you to be the spokesperson for the transition of Sirius XM Radio. And they paid me a lot of money to do that commercial.
Let's go.
Wound up carrying for 6 months, all because I wound up getting my friend that other $20 off. Yeah.
See what $20 will be able to give somebody. You gave them a helping hand, and you wind up making millions. I love it, man. Oh, I love it. Hey, Fran, I am so happy that you're here, because I'm sure there's plenty more stories to go around in regards to your adventures, but you never know who you meet. And that's, I always say that even when I go out, you never know who you meet. You never know who's connected to who. And they talk about, hey, networking is the best way, even though if you don't even mean to do any networking, it just happens based off of your talent. So,
well, here's the thing, because, you are very outgoing. Obviously, you're doing the show and stuff like that. So for some people, it's natural to talk to people. It feels uncomfortable if you're not, Yeah. And I remember there was a time that I was at this, before YouTube used to have like these labs and stuff like that. And you would go into Manhattan, you would go to these labs, like how to get the analytics of how to get, people to join. And I remember there was a guy there, and he was kind of, I don't want to say, he was lonely. Nobody was really talking to him or whatever. And a friend that I was with was talking to all these other people, the bigger stars. And he comes over to me and he goes, why are you talking to that guy? That guy's like, yeah, nothing. Go talk to these people. I go, hey, nobody's nothing. You don't know where somebody's going to be, whatever. Right. And plus, anyway, I like talking to the guy. He was a nice guy. Anyway, P.S., that nobody guy wound up being the person that became in charge of the awards. Oh, what did they call them? It was the awards for people who did good on YouTube channels.
Okay. Wow.
I can't remember what it was, but because I was nice to him, again, it was another thing, flash forward like 2-3 years. He goes, you were the only one that talked to me. I would like you to come and MC the event. And I was like, sure. So I got flown out to Vegas, and again, just be who you are sincerely. Yep. Don't talk to someone because of who they are, because of what money they could give you. You know what? Just be yourself.
That's
and
right.
If people like you, they like you. They don't, they don't. But don't ignore someone because you don't think that they can't do anything to you. Be a human, for God's sakes. Be That's a right. human. Talk to people. Be nice to people because you generally want to be nice to people.
Let's go, Fran. I like you. Actually, I'm starting to love you. I know. Hey, you know what? It started off liking it, starting to become a love here. Hey, you know what? Of course, you already know we got to take a commercial break. You already know we got to pay some bills around here. But everybody, you already know this is Fran Capo, and she is the fastest talking woman. She is a comedian and also an author. We got more coming up. But Fran, sit back, relax. We'll be back, everybody, in 30 seconds. Let's go.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with stubborn weight and visceral fat? It's time to reset with Fupa Water. Packed with powerhouse ingredients like spirulina, turmeric, and aloe vera, Fupa Water is your daily detox and hydration boost all in one. flush out toxins, energize your body, and say goodbye to that stubborn belly fat. Ready to feel lighter and stronger? Get yours today at fupawater.com. And for a limited time, use code RNSS for the Rico No Suave show and get an additional 10% off on your first order.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. It is me, your boy Rico No Suave, and I'm here with none other than the loving Fran Capo on the Rico No Suave show. Yes, Fran, are you having a good time so far?
I am having a great time. You know what? It's like we're just having a conversation.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Hey, now you're
That's
picking up
what
my
we
language.
say. You know, Fran, you know who also is having a great conversation? The people that's here live with us, and they got some questions that's actually coming up. But I'm gonna give some love real quick. I'm gonna give some love out here.
Hey,
Beatrice, hello, Beatrice Davis. You know she's checking in. Hello, John T for free. Welcome back, John T for free. Thank you guys so much for checking in with us as well too. Donna Marie Bird, thank you so much for checking in with us as well too. And everyone else is actually checking in. Thank you guys so much. But I will ask this. So Beatrice did come out and she said she had a couple questions for you. And it's basically a nice segue in regards to you being that adventurer and things that you've been doing as far as for yourself in the world and being able to get out there and just love nature, right? Love nature in general. But she has a couple questions. She's had a couple questions with Fran. You've done some wild things. So, is it scaling Kilimanjaro,
no,
diving with
Kilimanjaro.
sharks? What drive you to take on these extreme adventures?
Okay, first of all, when I was a kid, my mother taught me that nothing is impossible, and my dad taught me to always find the humor in life. So if I do something and it works, it becomes part of my motivational speaking, and if it doesn't, it becomes part of my stand-up comedy. So it's a win-win either way. Now, with that being said, I remember my mom taking me and my sister when we were young to the circus. And I remember the very first time, like the clown was riding a bicycle and he had another clown on his shoulder, was riding around. And I said, wow, that looks like a really good idea. So when I came home, I must have been like 5 and I put my sister on my shoulder and my mother, instead of saying, don't do that, she just said, watch out for cars. So I knew I would be able to just try these things. And
Yeah.
I have what I call like the click factor. Like I was watching a movie and they were talking about these people climbing Kilimanjaro. And I'm like, if they could do that, I could do that. That's how I wrote books. If they could write a book, I could write a book. If all these people in this library could write a book, I could write a book. If they could run a marathon, I could run a marathon. I wonder what it would be like to be in the world's largest cave. Well, I'll trek 12 miles into the Vietnam jungle and go do that. And while I'm there, I might as well do the world's most remote comedy show. Oh, what do you mean? I could zip line into an active volcano? Good. I'll become the first woman to zip line in an active volcano
Oh,
in Nicaragua.
wow.
All these things is because I feel that God gave you this whole world to explore, and I want to use up every bit of my life. At the end of it, I want to say thank you, God, for allowing me to live a very full life and to make people happy, and I could, motivate them because it's not like I'm this slim little model or anything like that, or whatever, a world-class athlete. But I'm a mom. Actually, I am now a Fran ma, not a grandma,
Oh,
a
wow.
Fran ma.
Congratulations.
I am a Fran ma, and
Yeah.
well, that's 37 till I'm 97. So you got to do the math there. But anyway, and so the point is, it's like I want people to see that if I could do it, you could do it. And so
Yeah.
when I see something that sparks me, all of a sudden I'm like, well, if I'm going to do a book signing, why not do one on the top of Kilimanjaro? Well, what do you mean? I could go down to the Titanic? Okay. So it's all that type of stuff. That's the motivation. Now, any one of those things you could ask me, I'd be happy to tell you about that particular adventure. But if people go to my website, Fran Capo, Capo, like head of the mob, Fran Capo, .com. On the top, it says world records, and they could see the world records. But I also talk about it in my TED Talk. And I also broke a world record on the TEDx stage because I did an 18-minute talk and then redid the entire talk in under a minute.
Let's go. Let's go. Now, you also, we're going to continue on this adventure road, this journey that you have, because there was penguins involved, and there's certain animals that actually was involved in your adventure. What is your connection as far as with nature in general? Because I want to show the world as far as what you've been doing in regards to even from the past itself. But there is, we just going to go through that. So talk to us in regards. I like the penguin one. The penguin one was pretty cool. Talk to us
well,
about
the penguin
that.
one was, so the penguins was when I was in Antarctica. And what happened, how I got that was I had already done, gone down to the Titanic, and I met a friend named Nick. And he said to me, Happy New Year. What are you doing in the next 10 days? I go, why? He goes, how would you like to do some motivational speaking on a ship that is going to Antarctica? I said, absolutely. So the next thing I knew, I got my bags together. I fly to Ushuaia. We get on a boat and we go out there. Now, here's the thing. I didn't do much research. The guy told me, I'm going to be doing some talking. He knew I like adventure. So I figured, all right, I need some warm clothes and I'll be good. Did not know the Drake Passage was the most dangerous waters in the world. And I remember him going, do you need any Dramamine? I'm like, nah, I'm good. And he goes, you sure you don't need, I'm good. Not knowing the boat's going to go like this. I remember that morning, not realizing the boat was going to go like that. I decided to take a shower. You know what it's like to soap yourself up and the boat's going like this? And I went, that was a really bad move. And I should have realized it when I was literally laying in the bunk bed and I'm short and my head would go this way and then my feet would touch this way and my head would, and I started laughing hysterical. I'm like a cartoon character here. And then we get to this one place where you take these rubber boats called Zodiacs and they go, you want to get off? You want to go in the Zodiac? I'm like, I'm going to do all the adventures that the other people are doing. And it was only 10 people on the boat because it was a boat called Cash on Ice. It was like whatever, high-end people, whatever. So we go on this Zodiac and we go to this island. They go, listen, if you dig down in the ice and the sand, it gets hot. And what we want everybody to do is run into the water and then you'll come back and go in this little hot thing. So me and this one girl are going, oh man, that water's got to be like 40 degrees. We're like, all right. So we said, all right, let's hold hands. Let's be brave. We run, not knowing there was a shelf. So that means there's a drop off. So we're running in the, in the ocean water and all of a sudden, boom, we drop. And so it's like, and like we're trying to now swim back to shore and we get in now this little hot tub. And all the penguins are standing around going, look at those idiots. What are they doing? The penguins were literally looking at us like we were jerks. like you are not fit for this. And so, so that's one thing. I'm just recently, I have a show called, I do my own stand-up comedy show. And then I do a motivational show that I get hired by corporations around the world called Love, Laughter, and Light. And it's basically how a world record mindset could help you accomplish anything. And I talk about using the 3 elements of love, laughter, and light to be able to bring happiness into the world, but also to make every day in your life happy, because that's the hardest thing for people to achieve. They think they have to aspire to get to a place for happiness, not realizing you create your own happiness by the way that you look at something or don't look at something, and stop being a victim and blaming it on other things. I can't be happy because of this. Oh, you know what? Look at Anne Frank. She was blind and deaf, and yet this woman was one of the most positive people she, ever. So don't use yourself ever as a victim, because then you never get out of that hole in life. But anyway, so everything that I do, it's like if I see it, I just want to do it. So one of the other, so as far as animals, so I have this show called Two Chicks and a Horsetail. It's me, another comic, Mary Ellen DiPetrello, and another comic, Lou Angelwolf. The two chicks, he's the horsetail, obviously. And So when we were going to our first road gig together, because we just formed this like maybe a year ago when I moved to Florida, and we went up to Destin. And most comics, when they do a show, they do the show. The next day, they go to the mall. They eat dinner, and they do the next show. Me, I go, guys, we have whole Saturday. There's a wolf sanctuary. We could go and be with wild wolves, and we can hold possums and raccoons. And they're like, okay, Fran. So then we all go and do the wolf thing. And then the next day I go, well, we can't just drive home. There's a cave that we can walk through. And then we go through the cave, because I just like to take opportunity anywhere in the world that I could get it. And that's what people should do. You know how people stay happy? Always have something new to look forward to. It doesn't have to be a big grand thing, but always have something to look forward to. And your life is wonderful.
Let's go. Come on, man. That is awesome. I'm loving this. I have to say, just in general, and after we take this next commercial break, I do want to talk about, because you was in the water, and I think you was in with the shark, but I'm not going to spoil it. But I'm going to, after we do this commercial, I definitely want to come back and I want to talk about that, because that's another adventure that I don't see myself swimming with sharks. But but I know that's an adventure for yourself. But Fran, the one thing that I will commend you on is knowing how to be able to take risks, to be able to look back on and say how much you enjoyed that risk that you took with friends, but also in general for yourself.
Yes. I mean, we have to take the break now and we'll come back and talk about that, or you want me to talk about that now?
You know what? Let's take a break. You know what? Let's take a break, because I want to come back and talk about that as well, too.
All right.
Everybody, this is Fran Capo. You already know your boy Rico No Suave here, the comedian. She is the comedian. She is the author. And, of course, we're going to talk about those books. And, of course, she is the fastest talking woman, speaking woman, talking and speaking at the same time. Everybody will be back in less than 15 seconds. More of Fran Capo. Let's go.
Every year, 800,000 children are reported missing. That's one child every 40 seconds. It's every parent's worst nightmare. Right now, there are 483 missing children cases still open. Your card donation can help keep kids safe and bring missing kids home. Donate your unwanted card today. Fast, free pickup, 24-hour response. Plus, you'll get the maximum tax deduction.
Call 800-723-2013.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Yes. Let's just talk about, there's some other pictures, but I know there was one that you were actually in I think it was in a pool with a shark, and it looked like a red shark, actually.
It was actually in the ocean. It wasn't in a pool.
That was in the ocean?
That was in the ocean. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's even better. So talk to us in regards to how you took that step with, step into the ocean with the shark.
So I've done about, I'd say 4 shark encounters now. Okay, so the very first shark encounter I did when I was like 20 with a friend of mine who had taught me how to scuba dive, my friend Vivian Kalman, and she was, now Maltese, whatever. And she said, hey, let's go scuba dive. So we went to this place, Unexo in the Bahamas, where that you're doing a shark dive. And they were Caribbean reef sharks, which still, they're between 6 and 8 feet. So it's not like they're small little things. So the people are feeding them, and you go down, and of course, in your head, you're hearing, da-na, 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 you're hearing the shark music in your head as you're going down. Things with sharks, it's like, all of a sudden, you're looking around because you're looking for them. They're going to be, and then they're right there.
Wow.
You can't hear them coming. So the people are feeding them, and they said, if the sharks start getting aggressive, we're going to go up. And of course, I'm thinking, well, now we're going to be up. They're going to be on the bottom. They could grab our fins or whatever. So anyway, we're in a circle, and the sharks are circling around looking at us with their beady little eyes. And then you notice in the pictures, me and my friend, while everybody's in the circle against the back of the tank, the two of us keep moving up closer and closer to the sharks because we're like, it doesn't seem so scary. And we kept moving up. And okay, so that was one. And then the sharks got aggressive and then we all had to leave the water. Okay, that was one. Then another time with a barracuda, my ex-husband and I were scuba diving, and barracudas like shiny objects. And I forgot to take off my necklace. And we're going, and we went through this little cave thing, and the barracuda was at the edge of the cave, so I couldn't go out. And my husband doesn't know because there's no communicator. He's pushing my feet, but he's trying to push me into the nose of the barracuda. So I'm trying to kick back, and he's pushing me, and the barracuda's just sitting there going, "Yeah, that's right. Come to mama." And so finally, I just sat. My husband didn't know why I was doing that. I just sat. And then that barracuda followed us all the way till we got out of shore. Now, barracuda, unlike shark, they can still take a nice nip out of you, but it's not like a shark that, can take a whole leg at a time. Now, the picture you have there, which I think I know which picture you have, is me sitting in that ocean thing, that was in Jamaica. And there was a thing where you could go in the tank with the, not a tank, in the ocean area with the shark. They were wild sharks, but they came to this area to be fed by the people. So, they weren't so hungry, hopefully. Anyway, so there was like 300 people and they said, anybody want to volunteer? So I was like, yeah, I'll volunteer. And I'm standing at this thing and all of a sudden I see below me like 5 sharks circling. And I went, They go, you have to jump in there. They go, come on, shark bait. You can jump. Come on, man. I'm like, no, you go first. If they don't take a bite from you, then I'll go in. So then they went in and then they sat me on a bench and they said, put your hands on the back of the shark. And the guy was in the front and he said, I'm going to drop a piece of food down and you hold on to the shark. Do not move your hand or the shark will bite it off. So I'm holding on the top of the shark. That guy dropped the food. That shark grabbed that food so fast, but with such power, it literally, and now obviously I don't know what a cannon going off feels like, but he was like, it was so quick that all of a sudden I went, oh my gosh, this really is, it was all muscle. And then they go, you want to swim with them? I go, I'm good. The guy's full. I'm good. I think I could get out of the tank now. I'm good.
There is a photo I think that we do have you going inside the tank itself that you did send me. We're gonna put it up and we'll see if this is this.
No, that's the Titanic.
Oh, that's the Titanic. Okay.
So this is this picture. If anybody has seen the Titanic, the movie, which almost everybody has seen, that's the Russian submersibles. That's the Mir 1 that you see in the movie The Titanic.
Wow.
And I'm only one of 250 people that have gone down to the wreck site of the Titanic. And that is the guy whose back is towards the camera is Anatoly Salgovich. He's the one that designed the mirrors, and he's the one that's in every James Cameron movie having to do with the Titanic.
Wow.
He's the one in the movie The Titanic that when they bring up the safe and they think the blue diamond is in there and it's not, and he goes, no diamonds, and that's Anatoly Salgovich. So in the movie, that's whose back you're seeing here in the picture of who I'm with. He was the pilot for the submersible when I went down to the Titanic.
Wow, that is awesome, man. That is super, super awesome. All right, time is always flying by fast when we're having fun, and we're down to a last few minutes of fame around here, and we got to talk about you as the author, because we got we have a few book covers that we probably want to display on a screen.
Yes.
There's let's see what our producers have in the back there. See if we can actually bring up. Let's bring up one and see. So it happened in New York.
Okay, so that is different at things that happen in New York that people don't know about.
Okay.
So, like obviously on there is the Brooklyn Bridge, but there's stories in there of the Statue of Liberty, and that this Captain Kidd's treasure is supposedly buried in the base of the Statue of Liberty, and how the 25 windows represent the natural gems in the world, and it's all hidden things about things that people know about, like popular things, but that they don't know the hidden story behind.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. I think we have another one. I think we have another book maybe. But if you want to just go down, because I know we always when it comes to shows, there's
Well, we have
always
this
time
book
is not
here,
on our side.
Almost a Wise
Yes, it's
Guy.
a wise guy. Almost a
Right.
wise guy.
Now,
Yeah,
that's
talk
a
about
true
that book.
this is a true story. It's based on the life of my dad. He had one brother, a highly decorated police officer, and the other one that was in the mob. So when my dad was dying, he goes, "Listen, I want you to write the story of my life." I go, "I don't know, Dad. Most of those people." He goes, "Don't worry, those people are dead." So at the beginning of the book says the names have been changed to protect the author. But it is a true story of my dad's escapades, like I said, between the mob and his other brother that was a police officer. And it's a comic crime novel. Actually, at one point, Lionsgate was interested in making it into a movie. And the only reason we didn't at that point in time was because they wanted to turn my dad into a killer in the mob. And my dad was dying of cancer. And I go, I am not making my dad out to be a killer. He wasn't. He was like the Rocky guy. He did beat up people. He was the guy that collected the money. But I'm not going to make him into the killer. So I turned it down. Yeah. So I was like, nope, not doing that.
Let's
but
not
if
do
anybody
that.
else is interested in making it into a movie, let's talk.
I love it, man. I love it, man. It's just I love you now. Hey, I love you now. I went from liking what you've been doing to loving everything. I almost feel like I'm living my life through you, just through this interview right
Oh
now,
my
because
God.
of
Thank you so much.
the adventurer part. That is key. And nature, there's certain things in nature that I will do, and there's certain things in nature that I won't do because of the risk that I'm just afraid, and fear will keep you back from doing it until you do it once, and then I'm ready to do it again.
Okay, well, here's the thing about fear. Okay, I say to people, you fear it, but if you do it anyway. And here's the reason: because sometimes, let's say somebody wants to hang glide or whatever they want to do. I want to do it, but I'm scared. I want to do it, I'm scared. You know how many times they're living that same thing, that same fear over and over and over again? Whereas if you fear it and you do it, you get through that fear that once. And usually you build it up so much in your head. It's just like when people hear something, then all of a sudden, but what if this happens and this, and then this happens and this? And I'm like, oh my gosh, calm down. None of that happens yet. You're talking about something that might not even happen and you're worrying about it. Even Jesus said, why worry? Does it help anything? No, it doesn't. Jesus
Right.
said it. Listen, if you people are religious or whatever, I think the man knew what he was talking about.
Yeah, I
So,
think so too. I
yeah.
think so too. Oh man. Okay. I wish we had more time. I really do. And we talk about convenience. This is not convenient right now. I really want to keep going. But listen, I do have to put up this old school photo. There is a photo of you as an actress, and I think it was kind of like a snapshot of you. Let's see if we can have a producers put this up right here, about David Bowie. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay, I'll tell you the story about the David Bowie thing.
Yeah.
So here's this is how this photo came about. So a friend of mine asked me to go with her to like the Jacob Javits Center. She was into acting. I didn't want to go. I went with her. All of a sudden she disappears. Now I'm in this convention. I know nothing about acting. I'm looking around and I see a staircase with a whole bunch of people up on the side. So I go up to the guard and I go, "Hey, what's up there?" He goes, "Hey, you got a ticket?" I go, "No, I don't have a ticket. I don't need a ticket. I just want to know what's up there." "You need a ticket." "Listen, I don't care about acting. I just want to know what's up there." He goes, "Well, it's casting directors." I go, "Can I go up and see?" He goes, "No, you can't." And then all of a sudden he goes, "I'm going to lunch. Don't do anything stupid." Okay. So he leaves. So of course I start, the people are waiting online and I go, excuse me, I just need, and I'm not even saying what I need to do. I'm just like, excuse me, I just said, excuse me, excuse me. And I get to the top of the stairs and literally I look to the right, I look to the left, and I, see that there's all the casting directors on one side, a table, and then all the wannabe actresses on the other side. All of a sudden, the guy at the end goes, next, and the girl behind me goes, go. And I went, and I go, and I sit down, and the guy goes, headshot. I go, I'm Italian. That's not a good thing. And then he goes, no, seriously. I go, seriously, I have no idea what you're talking about. He goes, why are you here? I go, why are you here? He goes, I'm a casting director. I go, you're one of those people with the couch. He goes, no, I don't have a couch. I go, you don't have a couch? You have no furniture? And he goes, I have furniture, not a couch. So I go, so I'm like teasing the guy because I don't care. I don't care about acting, So he goes, can you dance? I didn't know he meant like professional. I thought he meant disco dancing. So of course I could dance. Yeah. So he goes, well, give me your number. I go, here we go with that casting couch thing again. He goes, no, it's for auditioning. I go, huh? So I go, you give me your number. So he gives me his number and I give him my number. And at that time I was working for $108 for a week at King Cullen. All of a sudden, my mother, there's no cell phones then, calls me up at the store I'm working. She goes, some guy says he has an audition for you in Manhattan, and if you get it, it pays $100. And I'm thinking, that's my whole week's pay. So I go to Manhattan, do the audition, take a Polaroid, I get the part. Then I get there, and they go, all right. And the way it was extra work. So they go, you, and you. Go to wardrobe, you're going to get made up. So, okay, fine, we do that. Then they pick again. And they go, you, and you. I was one of the yous. So they pick me, and all of a sudden, he goes, there's a stage. David Bowie's on the stage. There's four people, and four people. And I did not know who David Bowie was. But during the break, the three girls that I'm in the group with go, oh my God, it's David Bowie, it's David. I go, so go up and talk to him. You can't do that. You get fired. If you're so brave, you go. So I'm like, all right. So I go up to David and he's drinking a drink. He's sitting on the stage and I go, hey, my name is Fran. And he goes, my name's David. I go, that part I know. And he goes, how can I help you? I go, you see those three girls over there? They have a crush on you and they're scared to come up to you. And he goes, and how come you're not scared? I go, quite frankly, I don't know who you are. He goes, you don't know who I am? I go, no, but this singing thing of yours is pretty good. I think you should keep it up. He goes, really? I go, yeah. So he goes, stand right there. I go, am I in trouble? He goes, no. He calls the producer over and he goes, where are you standing? I go, standing with those four girls. He goes, get a close-up of her. And that's how that close-up that you showed before in the very first music video Fashion, I got that close-up in there, all because I didn't know who he was, and I went up to him.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Oh, I'm loving that. Oh, man, that is hot. That is too hot for TV. I tell you. Fran, I got something for you, man. I have something for you, my love. I got a shirt for you.
Oh, how nice. Thank you.
Yes, that is for you. I have this as a gift to you for being a gem of the world. And when I say you're a gem of the world, Fran, I just live like my life through you right now, through what you have taken us through. One of the biggest things that I've learned from you, just being that energy of laughter and also being courageous, is one of the biggest things, because in order for us to be who we want to be, we have to be able to take those risks. You being a comedian, but being also the fastest talking, and then having that accent, and being able to use all of that to be able to make people smile, and being able to walk up to somebody who you say, I don't even know who you are, and just being genuine about it, it makes you who you are today. I think one of the biggest things about penguins, that they actually walk around just to be nosy, to see what happens. But I think they were seeing your character and they saw a bright light. They saw that. And for you to be able to still be here, even if you were swimming with sharks, they're saying it is not your time yet. You will still belong to the world and not to us. But at the same time, too, you have this connection. You have a great connection with a lot of people. So this shirt right here, you have a connection with us now. You're part of
I
the
love it.
family, the Rico No Suave Show family. So,
I like it.
congratulations.
I like it.
Fran, we got to show everyone how they can get in contact with you. We're going to put up your social media and we
Perfect.
want everybody to know how they can get in contact with you. Of course, that's the first one, everybody. FranCapo.com. Make sure you guys go ahead and support her journey. You're amazed already. If you're amazed already, you're going to be even more amazed once you go to the website. Let's go to the next website, which is two chicks and a
You want to
horsetail.com.
book
Make
the
sure you you
show?
gotta go there. You gotta go to that website, everybody. That is another one that is just fabulous. Then, of
Yeah,
course, the real Fran Capo. Yes,
the real Frank
Instagram.
Capo.
Make sure you go and follow her there. You gotta follow her there. Make sure you said, "Hey, I saw you on the Rico No Suave show. Loved everything about you." And then, last but not least, I think we have a Facebook for you as well too, Fran Capo. Trust me when I tell you, you're gonna see that face, right? And you'll see that face as soon as you put that in there. It's only one Fran Capo that we know about, and you as well too. Hey, Fran, thank you so much for being on the show today with us. Had a blast.
Thank you.
Oh,
I loved being on the show. I feel like I know you. Like, you know what I mean? We
I'm,
just met, but
I'm
I feel like
telling
I
you,
know you.
like, feel like I've known you for a long time, and
That's
it's
right.
just this
More than an hour.
conversation here. And hey, this is just part one. There will be a part two. You will be coming back on the show in the future. But I want to say thank you so much for being on the show. Everybody loved everything about you. Any last
Thank
words before we let you go?
Well, I figured maybe your audience might want to hear my fast talking.
Let's go.
So I could do a little sample of what I do at the end of my stand up. And I call this Evelyn Wood reading her kids a bedtime story. This is performance speed, not world record speed. Okay.
Okay.
So I do a thing. It goes like this. Okay, kids, mommy's going to read you The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there three little pigs. One little pig liked to sing, the second little pig liked to dance, the third little pig liked to sit and think. Then a big, big wolf came along. Then a big, dummy, and up, chee, 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 up to buff. What's the next big's house? Little big, dummy, and up, chee, 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 up to buff. What's the third big's house? Little big, dummy, and up, chee, 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 up to buff, got some men to climb down the chimney. Pig said about a boiling water, the wolf and they will soup. Tomorrow, war and peace.
Let's go. Oh, wow. That's what
Yeah,
she
please, you can
said.
just
Let's
stick to
go.
that.
Thank you so much, Fran, man. Thank you so much for being on this show, man. And hey, like I said, much more success to you. You know we are here all the time for you. I'm just a phone call away, and we're just another live away, just to basically have you back on the show. But everybody, put your hands together for none other than the author, the comedian, and also the 10-time world record holder. Let's go, Guinness World Records. Fran Capo.
Thank you.
Take care,
Bye.
love. All right, everybody, we got to get out of here. That was none other than, my girl, Fran Capo. Had such a great time. Oh, my God. If you guys enjoyed yourself, please make sure you go ahead and share this, but just clap at the TV if you can and show some love. We got to show you our social media, everybody, before we get out of here. And, of course, our website. We have a website, too. And our website is www.riconosuaveshow.com. Make sure you go and show some love there. Man, such a great time as far as that. This is definitely going to be up on the website as well, too. For you guys, in case you missed it, here's the next one. We got Facebook, Rico No Suave Show. Go ahead and like and love. Here's the next one. Instagram. Yes, follow us on Instagram, everybody. We're continuously building. Let's go. Here's the next one. Rico No Suave Show. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, everybody. Yes, we're continuously growing. Make sure you go ahead and follow and hit that like button. All right, I think we got one more, and it is, if you're on Mixcloud, everybody, Mixcloud.com. Make sure you go to Mixcloud.com as far as Rico No Suave Show, but make sure you go to Mixcloud as well, too. I am your host, everybody, your boy Rico No Suave, and we'll see you guys next time as we end off the show just like this.